What makes a man life complete or fulfilled?
A human life gets completion only through meditation in enlightenment. You must become like a Buddha. You must become like a Jesus. That is fulfillment of humanity. If you are a human being, you must end up like a Jesus Christ before you die. You must end up like a Buddha before you die. You must reach that level. That is the fulfillment in human life. We got many, many examples. You have to become like a Ramana Maharshi. You have to become like a Patanjali. You have to become like a Muhammad, Buddha. You must become like a Guru Nanak.
Good morning. Namaste, everyone. Thank you for making time for this masterclass. My name is Deepa, and I take a extreme pride, and it's an honor for me to host and speak in this masterclass. Today, the way we have structured generally, most of you, if you have been attending the masterclass regularly, we start with meditation. We'll do a 30 minutes meditation, and then we'll go into the topic of the masterclass today, which is surrender to the divine within. I'll be guiding you through that. And let's start with meditation, friends, and then we'll have some time at the end for Q&A, 10, 15 minutes. Open to answer your questions to the best of my ability. We'll start with meditation first. For most of you who have been attending these programs, what we do here is we observe our normal natural breath. And as shown in the picture, we will first do heart elevation, and then we will do the Anapanasati meditation of observing our breath. And try to focus at a point somewhere between the nose and the forehead. And as you observe your breath, you slip into the empty state where there are no thoughts. Each time you get thoughts, you come back and continue to observe your breath. It is a very simple technique. When you let go yourself and you are able to just accept what is happening, it becomes easy, and over practice, it becomes much more easier. So you could sit comfortably, like the way it's shown in the picture, whether on the floor, on the chair, Whatever is comfortable to you, clasp your fingers, place them on your lap, and we can get started, friends. And together, there's one great saying of Patriji, which I may want to start with, that we are all not, spiritual being. We are not human beings with spiritual experience. Okay, we are spiritual beings with human experience. Am I saying it something wrong? Hold on. Yeah. So we are here as an avatar of a human being. That's what I mean to say. And let's enjoy the spirituality within us, the divine within us together, because with so many energies together, we have a profound energy that we are going to get into. Let's get started, my dear friend.
Dear friends, dear masters, with your specs removed, eyes closed, with your hands on your chest area, resting your attention on your heart center, connect with your beautiful heart. With your attention on your heart center, with a slow, long, relaxing breath, can you feel your beautiful heart? Feel the seat of all emotions. Nurturing all life. With its energies of love, compassion, gratitude. Can you recollect an experience from your past or from the vision of your future where you feel enormous love, joy, gratitude, or simply bring up an experience in the present, smelling a flower, playing in water, taking a walk in nature, helping somebody in need. Imagine and bring up that moment and feel that energy. Relive that moment and feel that energy. And allow yourself to spread that energy onto everything and everyone on this planet, or to someone who is in need, to help them heal, to help them elevate themselves. Where your attention goes, there your energy flows. We're all deeply interconnected. And slowly, let's go into breath mindfulness meditation. With your fingers into fingers, hands comfortably rested in your lap. Observe your normal, natural in-breath and the out-breath. Observe your normal, natural in-breath and the out-breath. We are in a powerful group meditation, harnessing the energies of the group. When you observe your breath, your mind slowly becomes empty. as the mind is becoming less and less of thought, calmer and calmer, allow yourself to experience that greater calmness inside of you, emptiness all around you. Be with your breath. Allow yourself to merge into your breath and allow yourself to experience emptiness, that calmness. emptiness is energy. This is the quantum field of energy. The field of limitless possibilities. The longer you stay connected to this emptiness, blackness of no body, of no thing, the more experiences you draw into your life. It is natural to have thought. When you recognize you are in thought, go back to observing your breath and allow yourself to slowly go into that emptiness, that field of light. We are less matter, more emptiness and energy. The longer we stay in the empty states of mind, the more you transcend your body, you go beyond matter, you experience emptiness and energy. Relax, dear friends. You planted seeds of possibilities. You primed your subconscious. Recognize that whatever you emotionally embrace is manifesting into your physicality. Be grateful for this opportunity to create. Be grateful for to everything and everyone who will help you to create this future. Your gratitude to your parents, teachers, mentors, family, friends, everyone in your life. To this grand nature, the bird, the fish, and the animals, to technology, all systems, governments, companies, to yourself, and to this intelligent quantum field for helping us experience, helping us create a new life. Gratitude moves us into coherence and helps us draw and create more. Recollect your experiences from the session. How did you feel? What have you experienced? Whenever you're ready, can you keep your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds and then you may open your eyes.
Welcome back. This is a wonderful meditation, and thank you, each one of you, for making this profound for each one of us. Namaste again. My name is Deepa. I have been doing meditation for 2 years now. And this 2 years has been like many lifetimes. The experience or the journey has been so profound that it doesn't feel, when I tell you 2 years, it feels so small. But the joy and the learnings, the amount I drew from the whole process has been more than lifetimes. It feels so long as a journey. I did the L1 meditation coach program with the CEO, and I'm very grateful for all the knowledge I have acquired. It is Chandra sir's, wisdom sessions that I have attended, number of 40-day programs here, number of Amrit programs, and each of these sessions has only helped me progress every day in the process of meditation and towards learning and getting more inside. So I offer all my gratitude to the excellent volunteers here who relentlessly volunteer and surrender to the whole peace and to the progress of humanity here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Today, our topic, the one I picked up here is surrender to the divine within. This is more an inspirational sharing with you, I would say. I've been reading the last two books that I have been reading is The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer, and The Untold Story of Sita by Dana Mariam. Both of these books, I read one after the other. I just finished The Untold Story of Sita, and they opened a lot of my unknowings. And so so that's what I wanted to, they are my guides today to share this topic with you. We just came out of meditation. Do you notice something important? We stop trying to control everything, right? We stop fixing, planning, worrying. This is one place that gives us a complete peace and calm. Meditation is a surrender. In practice, that's exactly what we do, is surrender, where we access the calmness because we trust that meditation will take us there. We don't force it. We allow it. With practice, this becomes more a muscle memory, a habit of surrender. This we will take through whatever we are doing through meditation, the peace and the calmness. This carries through our daily life events, challenges that we face, the decisions we have to make, relationships, work through. We keep our act very still. We choose. We don't react. We don't have to take the stress of controlling and planning. More than planning, I'll say controlling, trying to control everything. That slowly goes away when we do exactly what we do right now. So what is surrender? Surrender is most, at least for people who are in the path of meditation and these learnings, understand it for the right reasons. And otherwise, general term of surrender is perceived to be more negative, as to forcing yourself to agree into, right? Surrender is a very positive term, and when you understand surrender for what it is not like not taking responsibility. It is not like I just give in and see what happens, and that act does not include an action of taking responsibility. Surrender comes with a beautiful act of taking responsibility, owning the action, but leaving the result, not taking the stress of the result. How do you feel surrender? Now, there's a lot around surrender these days, and how do you exactly feel surrender? I don't understand. I'm confused when somebody says that. Like a few of us who are there in this group, right? We could try this. Like, imagine you're holding something very heavy. And we can take this as an example, I think better. If you have ever traveled, when you go for hiking, or say whoever has taken a trip to Tirupati by climbing the mountains, right? Climbing, going up the path, or if any religious trip, anything that you, or any journey that you probably walk and take and hike, it feels, somebody who's used to the act of walking, might find it easy. But say it is heavier, steeper, it feels very strenuous. At one point, it looks very, very strenuous. But when you still have to do it, you have to reach your end destination somehow, right? Either you like count your number of steps you're taking, or you take the stress of somehow leading the journey and trying to distract yourself with music and all that stuff, and you somehow reach. That is one way of doing. The other way of doing is where you enjoy, you give in and take that as an experience of what you're doing with respect to traveling, right? When you enjoy that as a journey and not take it as stress, the same journey becomes easy. Getting what I'm saying is, we still do what we're doing, but we don't have to take the stress of feeling tired and feeling heavy. Rather, soak into, see how divine it is for us to take the journey, and we chose to do the journey. It is our choice. We have to reach the destination. There are challenges in the process. And it's our choice to do that. So now let's enjoy the struggle that is involved in it, rather than the moment you look at it as a lot of heat, lot of pain, it becomes a lot of heat and a lot of pain. The moment you look at what you're doing to get there, it becomes joy. It becomes surrender. And we all do that. We all do that, just that we don't notice. So surrender does not mean giving up on life or on your dreams. It means doing your part fully, taking action, making conscious choices, and then releasing the need to control your outcome. Manifestation and surrender are not opposites. They are partners. We plant seeds and then we trust the divine within to help them grow. So planting seeds is manifestation. And you do all the groundwork. You plant the seeds, you pour water, you take care of the soil. Then we leave the rest of the part. You did what you did with all your heart, and leave the rest. The growing part of it, the action that involves after you do all of this, is called surrender. So from the guides, I use my guides of reading to pick up some stories to tell you on the act, the act of surrender. From the untold story of Sita, Tina Mariam has put in a beautiful narration and a beautiful expression of Sita and her inner strength, profound inner strength, which is very inspiring. I would recommend you read that book. Sita sat under the tree when she was in Lanka under in the tree of in the Ashokavanam, right? Everything that she was familiar was gone, her comfort. She's a princess. She grew up in royalty. All of that royalty is gone, and she's not even with Ram, and she's in a place which is complete darkness. She's filled with unknowingness, right? Yet inside, she did not give in to the fear, and she doesn't know what is ahead of her. She didn't know when would Sri Ram come, and if Sri Ram is even able to come or not. She only had herself and her inner strength. She went into deep meditation. Most of it says the story. When you read the book, you'll understand that many months she was in deep meditation, and that quiet stillness inside her is her inner strength, which helped her connect with the trust and faith. So you cannot change the circumstances. What the story means is that situation cannot be changed, but you don't let the situation affect the inner part of you. So when you let go and completely soak inside with yourself, that freedom helps you manifest what you really originally intended to. Sita, eventually Sri Ram came and Sita was released from Lanka, and the story goes differently, that none of this is what Sita intended to. She manifested that in order to clear the darkness in Lanka. Okay, she did that by being there, part of doing the internal work of being part of the darkness, so that she's able to clear and free Ravana also, right? So story goes in that direction, and she's goddess Mahalakshmi herself, and let's say she's okay. How do human beings do that, right? We do that too. We take Shabari in the same Ramayana. If you have heard of Shabari's story, a very old lady, she was told by the gurus that one day Rama would come attend her. Rama is going to come to her hermitage or her hut in the forest, right? So she's a very old lady who used to every day clean the pathway, decorated with flowers to welcome Sri Ram when he comes. And she would also pluck all the jamun fruits, and she would taste them. If whichever is bitter and sour, she would drop it and keep the good ones. This used to be an act of everyday doing. And she was in the flow every day. She did not say, why did not Ram yet come? She was not worried. She had the patience of waiting through. And one day, Sri Ram and Sita attended her. They did not go to palace. They instead came to Shabari by, she manifested what she wanted, is what I'm trying to say here. And so that patience, right, of when you have tremendous amount of patience in the trust that you're building, the results are beautiful, amazing. You hear me? So this surrender is not just about what we read in stories from Ramayana or from epics. It's also in our day-to-day life. I was reading about I told you about the surrender story by Michael Singer, right? Singer had he had a lot of he went into deep meditation. He closed himself, kept himself in a van. If you read that book, you'll get what I'm saying. Is he was hearing voices in his head. And at one point he was thinking he is the voice, right? And then he realized through meditation that he is the observer of the voice. So he did a lot of meditation to stop the voice. So when he did that, eventually he realized that you don't have to stop, you just observe. Like a radio, imagine a radio is playing in the other outside your room. You keep hearing to the noise. You're just hearing it. You can hear, you can choose not to hear, but you don't fight not hearing it. So voices and the thoughts are like that. He realized that, and he wanted to. In this process, he took for a year. He decided he would say yes for everything. He would do, like all the opportunities. Like it's not like saying yes without thinking. I don't mean like an yes man type yes, but our internal voice makes us very comfortable. So trying to go outside your comfort zone for causes that involves doing work, responsibilities, signing up for something new might not be our area of work, but still to get that leap of faith, all it takes is to let go and sign up. So Michael Singer got a lot of opportunities. When he let go, his meditation helped him get the inner strength, where he started even coding while he was an economist. He had no idea about coding. He started coding and he built a huge business. He did not want so much of business, nor did he want to acquire so much property. He did not want to start a company. He didn't want to be concluded into an office environment in first place. All he wanted was to meditate and continuously surrender himself to meditation. That's all he aimed for. But meditation gave him the inner strength and knowledge and the knowing of the unknowingness, right? So whenever our mind resists us when in uncomfortable, unknowing situations, okay, that's where we stop insisting and take a leap of faith and move forward. And then you will get used to it. So that becomes surrender. When you do that without controlling, with the faith, with the joy of trying to learn and trying to appreciate, trying to be grateful for the opportunity, the results of that will amaze each one of us. And I'm sure we tried that. Most of the time, we probably don't record it. And if we do this in our every action, in every decision we do, we are able to do that, it becomes more a flow state. So what we're talking about is the trusting of the unknown. Singer experienced that when he stopped fighting, even In life, even the stressful situations, he felt freedom, peace, and clarity. Right? So opportunities appeared naturally, often better than he imagined. The surrender is trusting what you cannot yet see, but knowing it is moving you in the right direction. Am I with you? Do you have any questions so far? You can raise your hand. I will unmute you. This is on, there's another book called Ikigai, which also has a lot of information. It puts you on, it's the Japanese secret to happiness. And it amazed me how these three books together give you the flow state. Ikigai is the result is what I feel, where you enjoy what you're doing, the process, the journey. So these books have kind of opened up to a lot of knowledge in my own head, I would say. If you have any questions, I can unmute you. Otherwise, I'll take a couple of more minutes to tell you a couple of more stories.
Ma'am, they can raise their hands so that we can unmute them, or else they can ask the questions in the chat as well, so that we can read out that questions and we can answer.
Sure. Thank you, ma'am. And I'll take a couple of. Is somebody talking? Then I'll go ahead and give you a couple of more stories. This is how I got inspired, so I like sharing stories more. You heard of Steve Jobs, right? Apple's Steve Jobs. So we're talking about letting go of control. Steve Jobs built Apple into a successful company. That is his baby, if I may say. At the age of 30, he was fired from his own company. Did you know that? From what he created, his own company. He could have resisted, panicked, obsessed, but he says that he didn't do any of that. Instead, he let life unfold. He started Pixar when he got fired. He explored new ideas, trusted in the process. Years later, he says in his conversation that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have happened to him. Sometimes surrender is trusting what feels like a setback. Life is directing us to something greater. So, which means to say that we don't have to, there is this I, which is ego. When you're planning something, you're doing something, you have an idea of what you want as a result. Right? I am preparing for exams. That is what is in my control. I prepare very well. That's in my control. Now I write the exam. The questions that come in there, not in my control. I still do what I can with my presence of mind, with the knowledge I have acquired. That is what I do. That is in my control. After you do that, dwelling upon, I could have done that better, or I'm not sure if I'll get the full, recognition for this. This could be for an interview, or it could be for anything we are preparing for. The result of it is not in our control. Any of it. We think it is in our control. Interestingly, we think that we are responsible for all of it, but no. Only till the time you do, it's in your control. The moment we have done it, it is not in our control. Rather than worry about what is not in our control, all we are doing is trusting in what we did when it was in our control and letting go. It is actually very simple as I speak and say, but so difficult for us to implement because we got patterned to live in a specific way, right? So consciously putting an effort to change the way we think and the way we stop expecting results is what will give us joy of what we did. And then now the result can be something that you expected or something that we did not expect altogether. Now, when we get what we expected, we enjoy, and we it's not that we should say, hey, I surrendered and I got what I want. Even if you did not get what you expected, is still the joy of looking at what is in it for me. There is a learning in every step of our life. When we look at what is in it for me and trying to accept that result with a learning curve and with the joy of this of a message that we are getting there is called surrender. Right? That becomes difficult because we have a structure and a plan and we try to envision our results. So the surrender talks about not doing what you can do the best and leaving the results to the divine. And the divine is deep within us. We should respect and we learn to accept because it is so profound and so depth. And especially when we do meditation, we know how deep it is. Not the surface at all. As we keep doing, it becomes deeper and deeper. And there is a profound knowledge. There is life's plan of giving us much more than what we think we are capable of. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna's surrender, especially, right? He was in the war and he stood frozen in the battlefield. He saw his friends, families, teachers, all on the opposite side. He was scared and he was worried and he was not happy with heavy heart. He turned to Krishna and said, I cannot handle this alone. Can you show me a way? I completely surrendered to you. I don't know how to do this. I am not sure if I'm doing even right. Krishna said, leave all your doubts, your fear. It's not your doing. That is, the moment you say you're doing, it is your ego. Do your duty and trust me with the results, right? So, yeah, it was the great Arjuna and the great Krishna who were very evolved spiritual, super consciousness, right? So fear faded and the path became clear for him. But that message means that we can also do that when fear itself would not come when we have the act of completely giving in. Am I making sense? We don't have to carry it all by ourselves. We don't have to. So Ikigai says, guides us through purpose and surrender. Ikigai means the reason of being, it's the flow state, right? It is an intersection of what you love, what you're good at, and what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. So discovering Ikigai requires surrendering, act fully, release the rigid expectations. A music teacher is there. She starts small by teaching little kids. She loves music, so she started with, there's no certainty about the recognition. She does her part fully and then surrenders the rest, trusting the divine timing. That is Ikigai. She's enjoying, and then the results of it, the teacher becomes very famous. When her students shine, so she shines, right? So the purposeful action plus the trust, that is Ikigai. So we do surrender every day, friends. This is what I would, finish with today, and probably leave a moment for you to ask any questions, which we don't realize, right? Every day we surrender. We practice surrender every day, like we falling asleep at night, letting go of the day, and we sleep. We know we'll fall asleep eventually at one point. Even if we wake up, we'll still fall asleep. And we know we'll wake up the next day morning. Now, what is that? The faith that you have is surrender. So you're driving a car in a traffic. What you do is you know how to drive. So you drive, be a car or a bike or whatever when you're driving. You cannot control how the others drive, right? How the other rest of the traffic behave, the situation there. But you follow the rules, and we do what we do with mindfulness. Now, that is called surrendering. We still drive and we reach our destination. We don't go and control all of them, saying each of you follow the rules. Now, that is called surrender, where you're doing your part and you're trusting that you're trusting into the entire situation, not by planning. By default, you're trusting into it. And you reach your destination through the traffic. That is surrender, if you look at it. Completely parenting itself, right? We teach our kids we teach them a lot of stuff. We give them knowledge. They grow up. How they act is how they become eventually as adults, is completely their choice. And what they do, it is not in our control. But trusting that when you're growing them, when you're nurturing them, what we trust that they will become is, I'm not talking about careers and stuff like that. I'm typically talking about even good adults, right? What we trust into what they're becoming is surrendering, not taking the stress of how they will be at school, how they will be, where they're going. So there's a lot of and we have to notice how all of these aspects, and acknowledge the act of surrendering, so that it becomes so that we consciously surrender each time when we do. That way, the number of actions and events that happen through our day are filled with surrender. And when you do that, we can pick up few things which are very difficult for us, where fear comes forward each time we do, and try to, for once, not take. I mean, it does come. It's easy to say, how is that? I don't plan to be scared, but it does come. Yes. But if you not give importance to the result of the action, the fear reduces. It doesn't matter what others think, what others feel. I am doing my part. That's all. When you do that, it's this traffic situation. you're doing your part of driving. You cannot control the rest of the traffic, and that helps. That kind of surrender, if you're able to do it in your every action of your day, it becomes a joyful living, and the results of it are something that you will completely enjoy, agree, and the stress reduces, which helps you lead a very happy life. There's no stopping in life, because you're completely present mindfully, and so this, when I say surrender to the divine within, it is surrendering every act of yours, every aspect of what you're doing in a daily. If you have any questions, thank you. Please raise your hand if you have any questions. We can unmute you. If we don't have questions, I would conclude the session today. And I leave you to experiment this. I'll say what this session, this is my first time I am speaking and being a speaker in the masterclass. This itself is a surrender experiment for me. And if I'm able to, I won't say that I did not have any fear about presenting in the session today. But I took the leap of faith. Now, how? Because of the wonderful people I am facing. And I know there is nobody here to judge. And this is a place where each one of us are masters who are only contributing to sharing. Knowing and appreciating and being grateful to this masterclass, to the space that has made me what I am today, able to see everything as a glass of milk, which is half filled, trying to appreciate that it is looking at the portion that it is filled rather than looking at the portion that is empty, right? Appreciating that in every aspect of my life, including this wonderful masterclass where there is so much of knowledge that comes in. That is what given me the leap of faith, and that is my surrender to this even today. Yeah. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm very, very grateful. I'm very grateful. And I wish you all a beautiful rest of the day. Thank you, Ladhani ma'am.
Thank you, Deepa ma'am, for the wonderful session. Your experience sharing and your session is all about the practical implementation of the concept which we learn every day. Thank you so much for your wonderful explanation, and it inspires us a lot to experience more and more deeply in meditation. Thank you so much for taking the session, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. When I look at all you're always volunteering. I don't know. I am always amazed the amount of service that you and others do here, right? Thank you so much. When it's inspiring, each one of you inspire to people like me to come forward. So I'm very grateful. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. We'll meet again on next masterclass. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you. Thank you. 'Cause I'm so grateful. So grateful. Oh, grateful. I'm so grateful. So I want to say thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing.
Thank you, ma'am.
day.
I'll end the
This
bridge.